Hello there, Darkask is here once again, this time with a Borderlands 4 video. It is, however, a video that I wish I didn't have to make, but alas, performance is the Achilles heel of this game. Very good game, having a ton of fun with it, but reality is, let's be honest, it is excessively heavy and it doesn't seem to be very well optimized at all. So I'm bringing you today my optimized settings and a little trick regarding the R.INI files that actually works. I'm mostly doing this video because over at Nexus Mods there's already a bunch of the game optimizer, game boost, FPS boost, and reality is I've tested them all as I always do, even though I know they're not going to work. And surprise, surprise, I tested with Borderlands 4 and all those optimizers over at Nexus Mods don't literally do anything. Okay, so we'll go through optimized settings first and then we're going to talk about the R.INI file. Very simple to do. Everything's going to be in the description. And by the way, if you like the video, if it helps you out, leave me a comment. Let me know if it did help you. Let me know if it did not help you. Let me know if you have any questions. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. We do all sorts of looter shooters, MMOs, and RPGs here in the channel. That's what we cover. Saying that, let's get to the optimized settings. On this screen here for the basic visuals, this is totally up to you. If you're using VSync, limit your frame rate. If you're not using VSync, just leave it uncapped. And then windowed full screen or full screen, that is all up to you. So this doesn't really matter. The only thing I would say is just max out both field of views. Why not? Right, here, don't worry about the graphics preset. It really doesn't matter. Upscaling method. If you're on AMD, FSR, if you're on NVIDIA, DLSS, you got some other methods here, but balance is my recommendation. Screen capture quality high. Frame generation, I don't advise it if you're going to use VSync. If you don't use VSync, sure, you can enable frame generation if you want. Now remember, if you want to enable frame generation on an NVIDIA RTX card, you need to enable hardware scheduling on Windows, which I never do because it brings a lot of problems to certain games. So that's why frame generation is grayed out, even though my system supports it, is because I have hardware scheduling turned off at the Windows level. Only turn on NVIDIA Reflex low latency if indeed you go for frame generation, otherwise leave it off. And then loading range, medium, geometry quality, medium, texture quality, very high or high. If you have 12 or more, go for very high. If you have 8 gigabytes, go for high, play around with this. But this one is one of the ones that you can push as high as you can. It doesn't really affect performance. Texture streaming speed, go for very high. If you find any issues, you can turn it down to high, but I haven't noticed any difference whatsoever. And isotropic filtering, I've been playing around with this. I can't really see any difference between 16 and 4 in this type of game because it's cel shaded and cartoony style. So I just left it at the default high setting, which is ×4. If you can push this to 16, I doubt it makes any difference, but I just left it at 4 because I can't see a difference. Foliage density high. If you really need to squeeze every single bit of performance, drop it down to medium. I don't recommend going under medium unless you're like desperate, because it really makes the game look super flat. Okay. Volumetric fog low. Volumetric clouds low, shadow quality medium, directional shadow quality medium, volumetric cloud shadows disabled, lighting quality medium, reflections medium, shading quality medium. Again, if you're desperate for performance, you can put shading quality to low. Seems to be somewhat impactful, this setting. Cross process quality low, motion blur amount 0, motion blur quality off. Now, these are my optimized settings for any card at any resolution, because the performance profile of the game is such that no point to really go above this or under this too much. If you go under this, you're not going to gain much performance. If you go above this, the game is not going to look much better and you're going to tank your performance. But let's be honest, on a 4090, I was expecting much better performance than this. It's one of those situations where a lot of UE5 games are CPU bound, but not GPU bound. This game actually seems to be CPU bound and GPU bound, if you can believe it. So it is really, really taxing in a way that I just don't really understand. It's heavier than Cyberpunk at 4K max settings with path tracing. I mean, let that sink in. But this is the best we can do within the game's graphic settings. Honorable mentions, gameplay, you can turn the radar on over here, and accessibility, if you go to gameplay, screen shake, turn it down to 0, grapple view tilt off, camera head bob, turn it off. But now we're gonna move on to what we can do with this little file tweak. All right, so we're gonna make our way to PC, Documents, My Games, Borderlands 4, Saved, Config, and Windows. Inside that folder, all you're gonna see is Game User Settings. We're not gonna do anything with this, okay? All we're gonna do is create a file called Engine.ini. You're gonna save that, and when you open it, this is what we're gonna put in it. Now, all of this here that I have marked right now, this is all preference. This is to disable film grain, bloom, chromatic aberration, vignette effects, depth of field, that sort of thing. That is preference for myself, and it does help out to squeeze a few frames here and there, but it's more a visual thing, okay? This is not gonna change performance massively, all right? But depth of field sometimes in certain cutscenes, but that's besides the point. The big star is this, Fog 0 and VolumetricFog 0. Now, this is actually going to completely disable volumetric fog within the game. And you might think, oh, I don't know, I don't want to lose that effect, Darkauskas. Trust me when I tell you. I will show you, I'll put in the video here some screenshots so we can compare. It looks, to me at least, more colorful. The colors pop more, looks less washed out. And on top of it, it actually boosts performance for quite a bit. Now, the lower your system specs are, the more impact this is going to have. On my 4090, I see anywhere from 8 to 16 FPS gains. Obviously, I'm going to put this in the video's description. You can just copy paste, and then you're going to save. And finally, you're going to go to properties. You're going to mark it as read only, and you're going to click apply. And you press OK, and that's it. You're done. This is all you need to do. All those Engine.ini and optimizer pack files that you get from Nexus, it is snake oil. It doesn't do anything. These are actually settings that you're changing within the game to recuperate some frames. It's not optimization of shader compilation and this and this and this and that. Trust me, that doesn't do nothing. The game works as the game works, right? All we can do is manipulate settings. That is it for me. Again, let me know in the comments if it helped. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and until next time, mucho love and hasta luego.